All of the above.
Recording in progress.
Good morning. This is the Weber County Commission meeting on this, the 6th day of February, Tuesday, the 6th day of February. We have a full quorum. Seated to my right is Commissioner Sharon Bolos, and seated to my left, Commissioner Gage Frohr. We'll look forward to our Pledge of Allegiance this morning by Miss Brooke Flint Stewart, and our invocation will be given by Bill Kobe, and our thought of the day will be given by Commissioner Gage Frohr. Miss-
Our righteous Father in heaven, we are grateful to be met here today. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to serve in our community. We're grateful for this great place that we call home, this country and this county, and we're grateful for the freedoms and for the protections that we enjoy as we go through our days. We are grateful for those who give of themselves in sacrifice for us so that we can be free and that we can have such great joy and pleasure and convenience in our lives. We ask thee that thou wouldst bless them, keep them safe, bring them home safely. Bless all of those who are serving in any capacity, that they will be protected and guided and inspired. Please bless us also as we deliberate today, that we will be inspired and given direction to make good decisions for our county. Dear Father, we love thee so much, and we pray that thy Spirit will be with us always, and that we'll be worthy of it. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Commissioner.
Yes, Commissioner, so we're now into February, as I think we all understand, and in February we have a couple of important holidays coming up, and I just wanted to make sure that especially yourself and myself didn't miss. I know Commissioner Bolos doesn't have a lot to worry about, but and I'm not talking about President's Day, I'm talking about Valentine's Day, which would be actually February 14th. And the reason I'm talking about that today is because we don't have a meeting next week because we'll be out of town on business. So I thought it'd be appropriate that I reminded at least the gentlemen in this room that Valentine's Day is coming up on the 14th. But where did Valentine's Day originate? How did we get there? You know, I've often wondered about that, especially at 5 o'clock on Valentine's Day when I was heading home and I didn't have anything to give, so I had to stop by the florist shop. I go, who created this holiday, by the way? So I researched that out, and I thought this would be of interest to you. So also called St. Valentine's Day, it's a feast celebrated annually on February 24th. It actually started out in the 3rd century, and it was a feast day honoring the martyr named Valentine, St. Valentine. And later, through folk traditions and other, it became a cultural, religious, and now commercial celebration of romance and love. So if you think about St. Valentine, I can't help but thinking about our own Chair Harvey is a perfect St. Valentine's. He was a lover of people. He went out and did a lot of things that actually got him in trouble at one point in time, but he liked to wave at the people, be associated with the people. But at one point in time, he was imprisoned and persecuted in the Roman Empire back then for actually marrying some people some Christians at that time that were not allowed to be married under Roman law. But he didn't survive that eventually. He actually was executed at some point in time, but his tradition lived on. And later on in the 14th and 15th century, basically through England, it became noted for courtly love, and it's flourished associating with, if you've ever seen any birds that came out, they call them lovebirds that come out in the spring. So it was associated with lovebirds. That's where the tradition came from. We now celebrate that great tradition by flowers, if you don't forget, candy, other things. And I remember I think it was elementary school, we always did Valentine cards. That's been a long time ago, but I thought we did that. I may be too old, but, so, remember, don't forget Valentine's Day, February 14th, that's a tradition. And when you think of St. Valentine, look at our chair. Now, we're not the, kindly waving at people. We appreciate him very much. So that's my Valentine thought for the day, a week early, Chair Harvey.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't believe that you've ever gone home at 5 o'clock not being prepared. You're one that has a great love for your bride and probably thinks about it way in advance. In fact, I'd be surprised. I don't think you take her flowers. I think you've probably had custom-made jewelry made for her many
Well,
times. If not, then
On occasion, yeah.
she's due. Very good. All right, item E on our agenda is our public comments. These are public comments related to this agenda. Is there anyone in the audience or online that would like to speak to any items on the agenda? Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Ms. Skeen? Nothing online? Fantastic. We'll move on to item F on our agenda, which are the consent items. The first item is a request for approval of warrants 10076 through and including 10107 and 482094 through and including 422179 in the amount of $879,686.05. Item 2 is a request for approval of purchase orders in the amount of $566,281.21. And item 3 is the summary of warrants and purchase orders. Item 4 is a request for approval of ACH payments to the U.S. Bank in the amount of $146.91. That may not be, that's a pretty low number, but Mr. Lynn Taylor's here from our Clerk Auditor's Office. Mr. Taylor, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Overview of the largest of these. We had 15 purchase orders totaling $566,000. Largest of these, 78% or $441,000 went to the roads department for an excavator, a backhoe, and a snowplow. 14% or $81,000 went to the Ogden Eccles Conference Center for theater and movie rights and rentals, equipment, and supplies. We had 118 warrants totaling $880,000. Largest of these, 57% or $500,000 went to the jail for contracted health services and utilities. 11% or $100,000 went to the Health Administration for building improvements, 7% or $58,000 to IT for contracted services, and 6% or $49,000 went to planning, which was a pass-through to the Weber Fire District.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Commissioners Bolos or Farrar, do you have any questions regarding items 1 through and including 4?
No, thanks.
None being heard, I'll continue with item number 5, which is a request for approval of the minutes for the meeting held on January 30th, 2024. Item number 6 is a request for approval of new business licenses. Item 7 is a request for approval of the new beer licenses. Item 8 is a request for approval of temporary event beer license. Item 9 is a request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and David Wickerman for the secure entertainment services for the Variety Theater pipe organ program. This is a gentleman that we're flying in for that fantastic theater pipe organ that resides over at the Perry's Egyptian Theater. Item 10 is a request from the Weber County Ice Sheet for the approval to surplus hockey pads donated to the Huntsville City Outdoor Ice Arena. There again, we're helping the area of our county that has the temperatures that allow for that, and just more of attention that we're giving to the people of the Upper Valley. Item number 11 is a request for the approval of an amendment to the Tourism and Convention Event Sales and Marketing Agreement by and between Weber County and Visit Ogden. Item 12 is a request for approval of a local transportation funding agreement by and between Weber County and the Marriott Slaterville City to establish terms related to Phase 2 of the Marriott Slaterville City Pioneer Road Project. Item 13 is a request for approval of an amendment to a local transportation funding agreement by and between Weber County and Marriott Slaterville City to amend terms related to the Marriott Slaterville City 1700 South and 1200 West project. Those are the items pertaining to consent items. Commissioners 1 through and including 13, any questions?
None for me?
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve consent items F1 through 13.
Heard the motion.
Second.
Accept- And motion and second. Place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to item number G on our agenda, which is the first item is a resolution. It's resolution number 03-2024. This is a request for approval of the County Commissioners of Weber County authorizing the use of funds for projects on the priority list approved by WACOG, or which is all the mayors and the commissioners get together once a month. Ms. Brooke Stewart heads that up, and Ms. Stewart, it's your presentation. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners.
Thank you. Good morning.
Excuse me. Like you mentioned, the resolution before you is for Phase 2 of Weber County's 2550 South project. The project was approved as part of the 2023 Transportation Priority Recommendation by the County Commission back in November. Typically, we bring these in the form of a funding agreement like the two that you just presented or approved on consent, but where this is a county project and the county doesn't contract with itself, the authorization is done through approval of a resolution. So the county is currently in process of purchasing right-of-way for Phase 1 of this project. Approval of this resolution will just allow them to move into Phase 2 to purchase right-of-way from 4300 West down to 4700 West. So with that, I will answer any questions that you may have.
Questions for Ms. Stewart?
No?
I don't have any.
None being heard, then I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 03-2024.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. I'll place that motion for vote. Mr. Brandt?
Roll call vote for Resolution 03-2024. Commissioner Faur.
Aye.
Commissioner Bolos.
Aye.
Chair Harvey.
Aye. Thank you. Ms.
Thank
Stewart?
you.
Thank you very much. Ms. Russell? The next one is Resolution 2024-05, which is a request for approval of the final reading for Weber County adopting the project area plan for the Chromalox Community Reinvestment Agency. Ms. Russell?
Good morning, Commissioners. This will be the final reading for the adoption of the project area plan and budget for the Chromalox CRA, thus actually creating the CRA, which we'll then file with the Lieutenant Governor.
Questions for Ms. Russell? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the final reading, which would be 2024-05 ordinance, Weber County adopting the project area plan for the Chromalox Community Reinvestment Project area.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Brandt, go ahead with a roll call vote.
Roll call vote for ordinance 2024-05. Commissioner Faur.
Aye.
Commissioner Bolos.
Aye.
Chair Harvey.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 3 is a consideration and action on a request for a preliminary subdivision approval of orchards at JDC Ranches Phase 2 and 3 consisting of 115 units. File number LVO like Oscar 112223. Ms. Adelot. Tammy, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Let me just pull up a presentation here. Sometimes the visual makes it a little bit easier here. This is part of an area of land that was rezoned to the R3 zone. And we just kind of go through. I may end up reading some parts of the staff report if that's okay. These don't usually come before you for preliminary approval. However, per the development agreement that is recorded with this, that outlines their approval process, this is why we're coming before you today. Okay. This is part of a 13-acre project area located at approximately 2850 West, 2600 North. Let me adjust this a little bit here. Just to kind of give you a summary and an overview of this, this is the location. You can see it's right in between Plain City and Far West. Let me read you some numbers here. We've got 115 total units proposed in these two phases, 100 of which are townhomes. And this is the only time you'll see townhomes come before you within this project area. The previous approval included 725 total units, and the maximum allowed number of townhomes was 100. So these are coming before you along with 15 clustered single-family units. Now, you'll see in here, and I've mentioned this in here, there is a park that is actually located in Phase 1, but it is an amenity to the Orchards development area. So I wanted to kind of clarify the park is actually located in Phase 1, which has already received its final approval, and they'll be platting that coming up here soon, I'm sure. But there is some common area that will be owned by the HOA and maintained by the HOA. To go over these numbers again, just because I know that Commissioner Harvey likes to be very thorough, as well as the other commissioners, but I know that there have been a lot of batting around of numbers with this development. So a preliminary approval has already been received for 148 out of these 725 total units. And so This would leave 462 residential units left to be approved. This has already gone before the Planning Commission for preliminary approval, and as we get to the end of this, you'll see that the Planning Commission's recommendation for approval mirrors the staff's recommendation for approval as well. This is your layout for this. North is to the left, just so you're aware. Fit a little bit easier this way. But these are your phases 2 and 3. Public roads throughout with private drives, snow easements. The applicant is proposing above and beyond the minimum number of parking spaces. They've got 61 total parking spaces for this proposal here. A couple of other standards I wanted to mention. Typically, within our zoning ordinances, you'll see minimum lot widths and minimum lot sizes. In the R3 zone, for these specific types of lots and building envelopes, there are no minimum widths or minimum lot areas. Again, this is just kind of a summary. I will mention that in the Planning Commission's approval, there was some discussion, and you'll see this on page 3 of your staff report, about the need for an additional egress out to 2700 North. The Planning Commission eliminated that as a requirement. They felt with the platting of Phase 1 that this would actually address that need. So they did not put that in as part of their conditions of approval. I think that's pretty much it. So Planning Commissioners, if you'll allow me to read the Planning Commission's recommendation for approval, and then I'll take any questions you may have. I want to note also that the developer is here as well, in case you have any questions for them. The Planning Commission recommends preliminary approval of the orchards at JDC Ranch Phases 2 and 3 located at 2850 West, 2600 North. This recommendation for approval is subject to all review agency requirements and based on the following conditions. Final letters of approval should be submitted from the culinary and secondary water providers prior to recording the final plat. Open spaces will need to be properly labeled as common area on each final plat, and street cross-sections will be verified for compliance with the development agreement once final improvement drawings are submitted for each phase. I will note that for final approval, typically we come before the County Commission. However, again, with this development agreement, these will go before our planning director, who will ultimately issue final approval. We don't typically bring it before the governing body for final approval until they've met pretty much all conditions. There may be a few small outstanding ones to be addressed prior to recording the final plat. They've generally crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's. Do you have any questions for me at this time?
Questions, Commissioners? Commissioner Faur, this is in your portfolio. Comments?
No questions, but I do have a comment. Tammy, first off, thanks for your good work and your planning staff. We appreciate the Planning Commission on this. Chair Harvey, you remember this has been a number of years in the works, that we've actually worked with the developer on part of that general plan that we put forth a couple years ago, that we looked at following the state's lead and looking at possible path forward so we could have what was called affordable or attainable housing. I think this is, in my opinion, probably one of the first developments we've seen at a larger scale come about because of the general plan. And I think that it's especially what we've seen over the past 12 to 18 months with housing prices, with lot availability, with housing problems for our kids and grandkids. This is a step forward. And it wasn't an easy step for the commission. We heard from a lot of folks that said, let's keep it 1 acre minimum, or let's keep it 5 acre minimums, and realizing that that's not the path forward if we're going to grow for a county and provide housing. I think it's well noted that the governor stated we're 35,000 units below where we need to be to provide housing for just our people in the state, let alone what we have coming in from out of state. So again, I think we've had enough meetings with developer. We felt good about what they're doing, and I think this is a step forward, at least providing housing for the citizens of this counties and those that will come. And let's keep in mind that the people we talk about coming in are not necessarily from out of state. There are kids, our grandkids, a lot of those people coming in are kids that left for jobs out of state and now are coming back and need a place to live. So again, I think this is an opportunity to provide housing for a very crucial need for our county. So I appreciate the work of all the staff and Planning Commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Farrar. Commissioner Bowles, comments from you? Great. Terrific. Ms. Adelot, does that conclude your presentation?
It does, yes.
Great. Okay, Commissioners, I think we're all fairly familiar with this project. We appreciate the due diligence that's been taken care of. I appreciate that there are extra parking stalls, and I appreciate the 3-acre park, so that's great. All those things are great. Glad that the Planning Commission has given that approval, and so I'll entertain a motion right now on item number 3, action item number 3.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to move action or approval for preliminary subdivision Orchards at JDC Ranch Phases 2 and 3 consisting of 115 units. File numbers presented by Ms. Tammy Adelot this morning.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4 is a request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Old Castle Infrastructure to fabricate and precast culvert underneath 4,000 North near 3,600 West. Mr. Ashley Tolman. Mr. Tolman, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. I appreciate your time and consideration of this contract between Weber County and Old Castle Infrastructure. On this project, where we're going to replace a culvert under 4,000 North out west of Smith and Edwards, we separated out the construction of the box culvert to have it precast, simultaneously putting out a bid for the installation, try and speed this project up. This contract is just for the fabrication of that box culvert with Old Castle precast to do that. This is a project that is going to be funded through the flood control funds, and so this is the contract to get them underway building that box culvert.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Tolman. Questions for Mr. Tolman? Commissioner Farrar, once again, this is in your portfolio. Questions or comments?
No questions from me.
Commissioner Bullos, I'll take liberty if I can real quick. You know, this is a great project that Weber County not only is in the process of doing to help mitigate what could be potential floodings at any time of a heavy rain or snow event, but also helps get the water further to the Great Salt Lake quicker. And so thanks for the work that you're doing here. It also mitigates the way that you've got it planned, interruption of traffic on that road for those residents out on the northwest part of our county. Great work, Ashley. I'll entertain a motion for approval, Commissioners.
I'll move to approve the contract by and between Weber County and Old Castle Infrastructure to fabricate the precast box culvert as presented by Mr. Tolman.
Have a motion?
Second.
Second, I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Tolman. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioners.
All right, great. Item number 5 is a request for approval of a right-of-way agreement by and between Weber County and Ogden Clinic Professional Corporation to purchase a right-of-way along 2550 South for corridor preservation. Again, Mr. Tolman, go ahead.
Yeah, this contract is to purchase right-of-way along 2550 South, similar to other contracts that we've presented to you. Ogden Clinic owns some land near 3500 West, and this is the contract to purchase that right-of-way on the south side of 2550 South. We've used an agent, right-of-way agent, and gone through the state's process to make sure we do this correctly, and this is a contract they've agreed with the price on, and so it's here for your consideration to enter this purchase contract
Great, thank you.
using WACOG corridor preservation funds.
Thank you. Questions, Commissioners?
None for me. I'd be happy to make a motion when you're ready.
Ready?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the right-of-way agreement by and between Weber County and the Ogden Clinic Professional Corporation to purchase the right-of-way along 2550 South for the corridor preservation.
You have a motion
Second.
and a second. I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6 is a request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and LexisNexis CopLogic Solutions for online reporting. Our very own Chief Josh Gard.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
So this is a component on a project we've been doing at the Sheriff's Office to try to reduce the amount of time for low priority calls in our patrol division. Keep them on the street for high priority calls and more proactive service. One of the components is we've hired a part-time and a full-time desk officer. This is the next component of that, an online reporting to take those very low priority calls that the citizens have. Maybe they just need a case number for insurance purposes. They can submit a request for a case number online. That's going to be managed through our full-time desk officer, so he'll review those reports. If they meet the criteria set forth, he'll issue a case number, and they have that case number for insurance purposes and things like that. There is an expenditure to this. However, there's another component to this. LexisNexis will take our accident reports, upload them through our Spillman server, and then sell them to third-party insurance companies, which is being done now through our Grandma Records division. That price has already been set. We're already doing it. This just takes the workload off of our records clerks, automatically does it. They bank that money from the accident sales and then use that towards our subscription cost every month.
Great questions. Commissioner Bolos, this is in your portfolio.
Does it cover the subscription cost?
He gave me some estimated numbers. It should just about cover the subscription cost, yes. They start, so they'll implement the accident portion. It takes about 5 months to get it fully implemented, but they implement the accident portion as soon as they get the contract back, so they start banking that 5 months in advance.
No other questions.
Great, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the contract by and between Weber County and LexisNexis as presented by Chief Guard.
Great.
Second.
Motion and a second. I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Guard.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Appreciate it. We'll now move into a public hearing. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public meeting and convene a public hearing.
Commissioner, there is one more item, 7, that was added to the amended agenda.
Oh, yeah, we got a 7.
Great. I'll look forward to seeing that
Regarding the land drain.
on my agenda. Not on yours either.
No.
Thanks. The revised agenda will move to item number 7, which is a presentation regarding the land drain crossing warranty agreement by and between Weber County and Nilsen Homes. Mr. Gary Myers.
Thanks for making time for me, Commissioners. I appreciate it.
It's a big one.
It's a big one. As Ms. Adelot referred to earlier, we've been working with the developer in regards to the JDC Ranch subdivision for quite some time, particularly in regards to the reason I'm here before you. Out there in the ground is some old Bureau of Reclamation land drain pipes that were installed years ago. I never actually got an exact date, but I know it was sometime around the 40s or 50s. So these pipes were installed years ago. As this developer is moving forward with their development, they'll be crossing them. And as such, we have orchestrated this agreement so that as part of these crossings, there will be a escrow put in place should those pipes receive any settlement or damage or anything as a result of that. Part of the agreement that was put in place requires the county to enter into agreement with essentially the Bureau of Reclamation that if any damage happens to those pipes, that it will be restored back to proper order. And that's the agreement I have for you today between us and the developer, Nilsen Homes, on the JDC Ranch.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Frohr, this is in your portfolio again. Any comments or questions?
Comment, then I'm happy to make a motion. Yeah, this is something that, again, we've been aware of for the past year or so.
Yeah.
I'm working with the developer. It looks like we have an agreement, and they'll post the bond in case there is any damage, and I think it's proper that we move forward on this. So,
Great.
with that, Mr. Chair, I would move to approve the agreement by and between Weber County and JDC Ranch on the land drain crossings.
Great. I have a motion
Second.
and a second. If there's no other questions, Commissioners, I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Thank you. Then now item number H1, unless there are more, Mr. Brandt, still, if there's, very good. Entertain a motion to adjourn our public meeting and convene a public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
A motion or second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Item number 2 under item number H is a public hearing to consider a county-initiated ordinance amendment to section 106-4-2.080, which is street trees, providing for the requirement of street trees, including financial guarantees required for public improvements, installation and maintenance of street trees, and the adoption of a species list of approved street trees, vegetation, and section 108-7-7.040, public tree care, providing for long-term maintenance and care of street trees. Our presenter today, Mr. Bill Kobabe. Go ahead, Mr. Kobabe.
You know, you said it all in that introduction, so I'm not sure how much more I have to add to this.
From previous work sessions, I think we remember this pretty good. Do you have any more you want to use?
No, just, I think you might have got an email from a concerned citizen up in the valley asking about street trees in public right-of-ways. I don't want to editorialize or make much more comment on that. We've had discussions about it, so I think you know where planning staff sits on all of that. There are benefits for having street trees, and the street trees that may be of concern are not going to go in every location. These would be on streets that are determined by the county engineer and the planning staff per the general plan to be required to be normal subdivision type streets and not country roads and that kind of area. And so in the effort to provide benefit of street trees in those locations, that's why we're recommending this change to the ordinance.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Kobabe. Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Kobabe?
Question, if I might, Mr. Chair.
Please.
So I'm assuming that both of these, this was approved by both planning commissions?
That's correct. And the recommendation was to approve these changes to the ordinance and this resolution with the proviso that the permit that's required and noted in the ordinance change is a no-fee permit, such that we don't charge a fee for those permits.
Good. And then just to be clear, we mentioned some concern from at least one person in Ogden Valley about this just becoming deer food. So we're not going to require this on every subdivision or anybody that say somebody comes in and splits into 3-acre or 5-acre lots on what we're going to call private roads. We're not going to make everybody put in trees that develops up in the Ogden Valley.
That's correct. This is applicable where applicable.
Right. Okay. All right, I think we all understand that, so. No other questions, Mr. Chair?
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
This is a time now for the public to have comments, up to 3 minutes if you'd like to speak on the street tree regulation or ordinance. Any in the audience? Ms. Skeen, none online? Very good, thank you. And we'll move along then. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the public hearing and reconvene a public meeting.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you. Then we'll take action, or we'll at least consider action on item number 5, which is the street tree ordinance. It's ordinance, Commissioners, 2024-06. Any discussion on that?
You ready for a motion?
If you're ready to make a motion.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-06.
We have a motion
Second?
and a second. I'll place that motion for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
No, wait. Mr. Brandt, thank you. Thank you for the eye raise. Got it.
Roll call vote for ordinance 2024-06. Commissioner Faur.
Aye.
Commissioner Bolos.
Aye.
Chair Harvey.
Aye, thank you. All right. Item number, it's not numbered here, but it's an action item to be continued. This is a request for approval of Resolution 04-2024 of the County Commission of Weber County adopting the Weber County street, it's for the
list.
street tree list. We've seen that, and that's all public. They're not junk trees, they're on the noxious trees, and so that's a good list. It's good. Good job. Okay, I'll entertain any discussion?
Yeah, discussion. So I haven't taken the time because I haven't had enough hours in the day to read through that entire list. I'll be honest with you, Mr. Chair, but I'm going to take that. staff's word that these are trees that fit well into both those environments, understanding that we have a little different climate between the upper and lower valley. And I'm happy to make a motion when you're ready.
I'm ready.
So I would move resolution 04-2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
None.
Hearing none, I'll place that motion for vote. Mr. Brandt?
Roll call vote for Resolution 04-2024, Commissioner Faur.
Aye.
Commissioner Bolos.
Aye.
Chair Harvey.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Commissioners, we'll now move to item I on our agenda. Part of Commissioner comments today is the Stall of Fame. You know, our presentation today, I'm going to ask Mr. Grover, can you come forward, please? You know, our Stall of Fame recipient has received this before, in at least the last 7 years that I've worked here. And so, Mr. Grover, can you go ahead and make that announcement today?
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. We have an individual in our division who has really, we have a great division, but this individual this last year, she has just went above and beyond, so we all know it's a girl. And we really appreciate everything she's done. Iris Hennon, she has just been amazing this last year helping with STRs. And as you know, with short-term rentals up in the Ogden Valley, it's been a hot topic. And she's picked up a lot of slack, helping out where our third-party company that we were working with, we were trying to get them set up and going and getting everything just right. She's been working so hard getting that taken care of, so there was no hiccups. She understands the importance of this issue and the concern that the residents have for short-term rentals and the possible impacts that this could have on them. And so she took the liberty into her own hands to help this move along and not skip a beat. And I just want to thank her for all she's done on this, but then at the same time, she's helped out with dark skies, doing dark sky inspections. She's helped out getting things going with the business license system and different things like that. And it's really been greatly appreciated on my end to see how things just move along. And she just hasn't been able to create any hiccups with those things, and it's just been so nice, and I just want to thank her for that.
Thank you, Mr. Grover. Ms. Hennon, why don't you come forward? Would you mind? Anything you'd like to say today?
Oh, yeah. It's not really true. It's a whole division. It's a whole division that interacted with each other. I mean, my partner in crime, who sits right there, Mr. Bill Kobe, and then Charlie and Alan and June and Ann and Tammy. I mean, it's everybody. It's everybody in our division. And we all kind of knit together. We have a hiccup once in a while and we drop a stitch, but mostly we, you know, and that's what makes coming to work so lovely. We have a great boss and a great boss's boss, so, you know, so we try our best. But it's a whole division. It's everybody in our office. It really is. I feel kind of guilty coming up here.
Iris, you're simply delightful. You're just a wonderful person. You've always been kind. You've always followed through. We in Weber County are so lucky that you've chosen to be here and serve the people of Weber County in the position that you do. We just really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We have a presentation for you, Iris. Now, the last time you were here, we gave you a keychain.
Yes.
But we know you don't drive 2 cars, and so this time, we're going to give you something special. We've not given this to another employee yet. So we're going to come and present to you a special coin that's shaped like a belt buckle.
Oh, wow.
And it really is kind of nice, and it just says that we We just think you're number one. So this is number one here, Iris. You're the number one here, so may we get a photo with you?
Oh, goodness. I might crack the camera.
No, would love it. Come on, we'll come down. Thank you.
All right, everyone on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'll take one more. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Now, the rest of the folks in the division, please come forward. Alan? Come on. Charlie? Need you to be a little quicker. It's okay to move quickly, Charlie. You know, I know that's... Never mind. I'll just... Keep going. I love these, Charlie.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks again. Go easy on that. Sure. Commissioners, any other comments pertaining to anything that happens to be on your mind?
I will make one comment. I love that Iris called out her own department, and that's what we're about at Weber County. I mean, you can get an award for something, but it seems like everyone takes the opportunity to thank those around them. Just how we work.
Great.
I just need to, again, thank Iris for what she's done. You know, sometimes she doesn't work with the most friendly people in her job. And I've had a couple of occasions to talk with those people. And Iris does it in such a professional, kind manner that she has a great way of making sure that at the end of the day, at least from my experience, those people felt they've been dealt with fairly. And even though sometimes they've been found in violation, and she cures it, and she takes care of Weber County in a very kind and thoughtful manner, which is great to do.
Thank you. Well, Commissioners, if there's nothing else, Liam, I'm going to need you to settle down next time we have a meeting with you over there on the side. I'll entertain a motion for item number J.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.